This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. Delighted today to be joined with the big man, Filip Hrgovic. How are we, mate? You know, we're waiting news soon, but how's things, mate?
Everything good, still on vacation, so feeling good.
How's holiday
Thank you.
going? Whereabouts are you? How's holiday?
Good, it's relaxed and holidays are good.
Is it good to sort of have some downtime? You fought last, I mean, 3 weeks ago. So after your fights, you know, you go through a hard training camp. Is it good to sort of have the downtime to try and relax?
Yeah, I relax I'm on vacation for 3 weeks and I feel ready to go again. So next week I'll start training again. I go back into the gym. So hope so to be in the ring soon.
100%. Well, we'll talk about what's going on with you. We know that the IBF are next in the rotation system. We see that Alex Prasek and Eddie Hearn had a meeting yesterday. I'm sure you're sort of itching to, waiting for the mandatory to be called so that pretend you can get negotiations started for yourself versus Alexander Usyk.
Yeah, man. I didn't have so relaxed vacation because of that, because I know I'm next in the line and I'm thinking about that every day. And yeah, I should get my shot next. Fury has scheduled fight his next fight against Nagano, and he's not available, so Usyk should follow his mandatories, and I'm next in the line, and I deserve that shot, a long time ago. I'm waiting uh, a long time, so I'm ready to go.
I was going to say you've been waiting a long time for this for the mandatory to be called. You've been mandatory for almost about 2 years now. Has it been frustrating, almost waiting for that time and being in this position for so long and it not being called?
Of course, I was, yeah, I waiting, yeah, like 2 years already. I had troubles to schedule that fight for the mandatory challenger. I was waiting for one and a half year for that fight, and then now I waiting again like more than 1 year when I became mandatory, but I still waiting. So there's no unification fight because obviously Fury has his fight scheduled, and like I said, they should follow rules, and Usyk should fight me next.
How frustrating has that been for you? Like I said, when there was the eliminator being ordered, that took ages where people kept on pulling out. And for yourself, someone like you want to be active. So not being able to do that, was that annoying where you sort of only being able to fight like once a year?
Of course, it's frustrating. Last we had a COVID, and then I had this with the mandatory, and then now waiting again 1 year. So like last 3 4 years, I have problems with getting the fights and getting the opponents, and so of course it's frustrating. So every normal person would go crazy, and good thing is that I'm not normal, so I can't go crazy, you know.
Yeah.
So, but it's very frustrating, and you can't keep your shape without fights. You can't make any progress without fights. So it's really frustrating. But now I'm in a really good position. I'm 30, so the best years for the heavyweights are in front of me. I'm undefeated. I'm healthy. So, and I'm a mandatory challenger. So the best years are yet to come, and I feel good, and I feel like I had this bad period like last few years, but now the good years are in front of me.
Absolutely. Now being the mandatory challenger, Usyk has no other option. You're definitely going to be fighting for a world title in your next fight, and Usyk definitely has no option. For yourself, where people may say that you've been avoided at times, and people have put obviously the eliminator where everyone was sort of pulling out, and it kept on happening. Did you feel like, and do you still feel like that, especially among the top heavyweights, that people are sort of avoiding you and dodging you?
I feel like, yeah, with all fighters who are coming, from small countries, it's much harder to get fights. We don't have a so big TV, so big boxing audience, and it's hard, and it's very different when you are from Great Britain or from the United States, and then it's much easier to get big names, big fights, and world title shots. So from the beginning, I know my path is much harder, but like I said, now I'm in very good position. I'm very happy, and I should get my shot next. So I endure all these difficult times, and I endure everything. So now I'm in the position where I should get my world title shot, and I'm happy for that.
Absolutely. The reason I say this is more, I know that you're not sort of in a position with mandatory for the WBC, which is Tyson Fury is a WBC holder, but when he didn't get an opponent, the consensus was everyone saying, Hrgovic is the next sort of best available option. But this came from the Queensberry side and Frank Warren saying that, they weren't really interested in a fight like this. So that's why I ask about if you feel like you're sort of avoided where you haven't got as high profile as potential other heavyweights.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm of course everyone know I'm dangerous fighter, and I don't care am I avoided or not. I know uh, it's much harder for me, but I know I'm gonna succeed. I working very hard. I'm 17 year in boxing, and I know I'm gonna find a way to succeed. You know, I get to the stage where I'm a mandatory challenger, and I get my shot, and I believe with good motivation and with the great camp, I can beat everyone. And I don't care what anyone think. I know I'm gonna succeed to fulfill my dreams.
I was gonna say, but when people make comments like that, and people that at the top level that criticize you and say things about you, do you let that? How do you sort of deal with that? And how do you let that affect you? I mean, if you do let it affect you,
But that's normal. This is uh, that's normal in boxing. Everyone is criticized. Not much greater fighters than myself. Like all great fighters from Floyd Mayweather to Lennox Lewis, all these fighters were criticized. So I'm okay with that, of course, but doesn't matter to me whatever people say, and I can have bad fight. Everyone can have bad fight or bad period or anything. But I know like I said, with right preparation and with good focus, if I come 100%, I feel like I can beat everyone. And I know when the time come, when I get my chance against Usyk or Fury or any big name, I know I'm gonna be right, and I very confident I can beat everyone.
with Usyk being next, yourself and Usyk are very similar in terms of having lengthy amateur careers, very, very experienced. And for yourself, your last two fights have been southpaw. So are you excited at the opportunity of fighting Usyk next, where you've had the experience with the southpaw, you've had the amateur experience. It'll be a big test for you.
Of course, last two fight were southpaws, and I totally switch in my head to the southpaw stance, and like last 1 year, 1.5 year, I just spar, southpaws, and it's good. I think it's very good preparation for Usyk. Yeah, and I know it's gonna be hard fight against him. He's a great fighter, of course. He's, I think, right now the best in the world, and he has he has place in a history. He achieved so much already. He's like he has his place in history, and I think he's future Hall of Fame fighter, and it's gonna be hard. But I'm big and fast and strong enough, and I can throw a lot of punches, and I feel like with him I'll be 100% motivated, and I'll be better than against McKean or against Zhang, which I was not so great, but I know I can at least give him hard fight, but I'm confident I also can beat him.
Do you take confidence from his performance against Daniel Dubois with the low blow and people saying it's a low blow or body shot? Do you take confidence from that performance from Usyk that you could be the man to beat him?
Of course, uh, even Dubois gave him he lost, all rounds, and he was outboxed, but he had few good moments, few good counters, and I feel like if Dubois throw more, that he give him a lot of troubles, but he just didn't throw a lot. He was stationary, and but he had few good moments, and with that the body shots and with that low blow, we are not sure if it was a low or not. So he did some good job, but I think I'm much better fighter than Dubois, and I can give him much bigger problems.
Absolutely. Going on a different topic, you said there about the activity, the mandatory, and everything you've been through the past 2 years. And obviously, I know you've had sort of family, had personal sort of bereavements and issues. But on a personal level, these past 2 years, have this given you a different perspective on life and boxing in a way?
Yeah, man. Not only 2 years. It's more like 4 years. We had
Yeah.
COVID before. I had like I'm 6 year professional. I had like 4 years were like not so good, and it's much different, But uh, now, yeah, I more realize what is professional boxing, and I didn't have anyone to tell me, to stay calm, don't stress yourself, you know. I didn't have anyone who was like great professional fighter to tell me how things are going in professional boxing, and I just need to feel everything by myself, and but I now I'm much more, when anything happen, I am much more relaxed, and I don't train every time like 100% like before. I think I'm uh, I handle now everything much better, because I know in professional boxing anything can happen,
Yeah.
and there's no rules, and I learn how to protect myself, to not burn out, and but yeah, last few years were tough, and I learned a lot.
And you saying that when you go through hard times and go through difficult times, does it feel like you appreciate the times a little bit more? Like you said, you're being on holiday now and all sort of your family and everything like that. Does it make you appreciate these things more?
Of course, like I said, I was training like 100% every day. Even if I didn't have fights, and even if I waiting for 1 year, I was training 100%, and that's not good for your brain or your body. So uh, I'm much smarter now, and uh, I know how to schedule my trainings, and how to. I know that I can expect anything, so I don't rush anymore like before, and it's much easier for me now after all these difficult times. And yeah, like you said, I appreciate that more my time.
100%. Last one from me. Being a heavyweight at the top level, fighting for a world title next. We see in October Tyson Fury's fighting Francis Ngannou. Just wanted to hear your thoughts on that fight, where Fury is fighting an MMA fighter instead of a potential guy who at the top level of heavyweight boxing.
It's totally disrespectful, to boxing, to anyone, and he obviously don't want that unification. And I don't want anyone to tell me about unification because I don't care, because obviously Fury don't want it, and they had so much time to make that unification, and they didn't want to do. Maybe both of them are afraid to lose their perfect records. So I don't care for that. They show so much disrespect to boxing and boxing fans, and I should be next, and I just want to tell them, follow the rules and fight your mandatories, and I'm the next in the line. And there's no step aside, there's no nothing. Give me my deserved shot.
100%. Philip, just want to say thank you for taking the time to speak to me. I know you're on holiday, so I do appreciate the time. And that's quite late. So I appreciate you talking to me, man, and all the best. And we'll be definitely chatting when you're fighting Usyk next.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the
So, man.
interview and all the best.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.